You say you're humbled. I feel honored that you invite me back and back again to talk about serious issues. It's not enough to talk, we have to do. And that's why we're free. And I do agree with you that international solidarity was tremendously important in our struggle. And I see there's a quotation there from Nelson Mandela. We know too well that our freedom is incomplete without the freedom of the Palestinians. That I've spoken at a number of gatherings in South Africa during the occupation of Gaza some years ago, the big invasion, the flattening of cities, and somebody equated what's happening in Israel to apartheid. I agree from what I've read and what I've seen in the videos I've seen, the reports I've heard, that the brutality of the Israeli Zionist regime far exceeds anything the apartheid regime did. It's much more brutal. I have a responsibility as a human being to uphold positions of justice and correctness and rightness, just as I did as a white South African, was born here, a first-generation South African, could go to school, could go to university, and the kids who were the children of the friends and comrades of my parents in the liberation movement couldn't go to university, couldn't study further. So how could I justify this to myself? I couldn't. And in the same way, as a person is claimed as Jewish, I have to oppose not Jews because they're Jews, but Jews in Israel because of the Zionist policies of their government. So it's the Zionist policies that I oppose. So today when people say, why do you call Israel an apartheid state? It's not like South Africa. Well, you see, you don't have to be like South Africa to be an apartheid state. There is a definition in international law through UNESCO, United Nations Education and Social Council, a declaration on apartheid. What constitutes apartheid? Government laws, regulations, and administrative policies that distinguish between groups of people on the basis of race or religion. There's no doubt in my mind that this is an apartheid state. Having lived through apartheid in South Africa, and having been pleased to have lived through it and not been sentenced to death, but to life imprisonment, and to be here to see the victory, I cannot allow, in my name, the same kind of oppression to go on. I have to speak out against it. And I have to try and speak out against it in as rational and calm a voice when really I'm very angry about it. Part of what the Israeli lobby, pro-Israeli lobby, Zionist Federation try to do is to say, well, it's not a simple matter in Israel, it's complicated. It's not complicated, it's very simple. The simplicity is that a dominant group excludes the indigenous people from equal rights, in the real sense of equal rights. And the attitude then becomes that Palestinians are less than people, just as in apartheid years, and that's the attitude in Israel today. And this, I'm afraid, you and me and all of us have to oppose and be told, well, it's complicated. It's simple, stop doing it. If I can quote Nelson Mandela in his long walk to freedom, to be free, it is not enough to cast off your chains. You must so live your life that you respect and advance the freedom of others. We have to be clear in our minds that Israel is an apartheid state with separate laws for different groups of people. It's not that it has to be exactly like South Africa. It has to eliminate the differential treatment of people by law, by regulation, and by administrative practice. We're talking international law. Weak international law, but international law. Don't give up. The world's changing. I can't wait that long. I'm 82 years old and I want to see the change. I hope to see it, but it does need action. I'm pleased to hear the vivas and the long lives. I want action, comrades. I want action. I want action. Thank you.